Okay. First up, start marking the answers. Mark C. That when it comes to contesting elections, an amount of security deposit is what is required, right? And it varies. If you want to contest for elections of the president, there is a different security deposit. If you want to contest for the Lok Sabha, it's 25,000 rupees, and for Rajya Sabha as well. And for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, it's how much? 12,500, right? So for Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, it is 25,000 or 12,500 for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. And for Assembly Council, it is 10,000 and 5,000. $5,000 is for SC/STs. Now what happens is, if you don't get 1/6 of the votes, that's again the same case for the president. This deposit is not returned to you, right? So 1/6 of the total valid votes. That's the point. And nota is not included in those valid votes. Are we clear? So always remember this point, that you don't include nota. So they are not included. This means one is wrong. And even if the nota votes are more than the number of votes polled by any of the candidates, of course, we have seen this a lot. And some of you have this problem also, that even if the nota gets the highest number of votes, what happens? Nothing happens. So in a particular constituency, what if, say, 40 people out of 100 press nota, 35 people choose candidate A, and the remaining 25 choose candidate B. Candidate A wins. So even if nota gets the highest, right, the candidate who secures the largest number of votes is declared elected. So as of now, nota is not really effective in the sense that if nota gets the highest, there is no re-election and all, right? So 2 is correct. 1 is wrong. 2 is correct. B, 2 only is the right answer. Moving on to the next question, second question for today. Explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. So please tell me, this office of profit, is it mentioned? Yes, it is mentioned. Article 102. Undischarged insolvent, is it mentioned? Yes, it is mentioned. We have seen this also. We call this bankruptcy. Remember Vijay Mallya's photograph I had shown? Okay. Then we have things like not being a citizen or even unsound mind. But the fifth one was by a law made by Parliament. And under the law RPA, under this law RPA of 51, there's a section called Section 8, in which there's a subsection called Subsection 1, which mentions laws like Prevention of Corruption Act, right? PCA, then Protection of Civil Rights Act, PCRA, then for dowry, sati, which dowry is mentioned under 8.2, sati under 8.1. So these things are not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution, but Section 8, subsection 1 and 2 of RPA. Are we clear? So 3 is not mentioned in the Constitution. Hence, only 2, B, is the right answer. I hope this point is also clear to everybody. Now moving on to the third question, question number 3. I hope that will be sufficient time. Correct. The state legislature may make provisions for the composition of the MPC. That is correct. 3/4 of its members should be elected by, tell me, 3/4. What is for MPC? How many people should be elected for MPC? Very good. Some of you are absolutely correct. It is 2/3, not 3/4. Second is wrong. And the chairpersons will forward the development plan to the state government, not the governor. I think we had seen this very, very specifically. So 3 is also correct. 1 and 3. C is the right answer. Okay. Moving on to question number 4. But on the recommendation of a committee which comprises of CJI, PM, and the LOP Lok Sabha. And once the bill is passed, then this will be replaced with the PM, LOP Lok Sabha, and one minister, right? 2 is wrong. Now let's look at 3. Please tell me, Solicitor General, is the post even mentioned in the Constitution? Tell me. Yes, I fully agree that Attorney General is appointed by the President, but not this person. This person is not appointed by the President. So, wrong. Okay. This is correct. We saw this in the chapter President only, that the President appoints the members of the UPSC, Finance Commission, etc. So, D is the right answer. Very few of you got this correct. I'm not sure where the mess was. Was it here or here? But yes, there was some mistake somewhere. And last question for today is question number 5. Yes. Okay. Then the appointment, posting, and promotion of district judges is made by the governor in consultation with the state high court. 2 is correct. B2 only is the right answer. Getting all 5, small point was left, and that point was the Berubari Union or the concept of enclaves. Let me show you the leaderboard first. Nagaraju. Question at hand. I hope you remember that Article 1 talked about India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Article 3 said that the states can be reorganized, their names can be changed, their boundaries can be modified by the parliament by law. Now, see, do you understand the concept of enclave? What is an enclave? Enclave, we'll be studying about this in your IR classes also. Enclave is a piece of land which is surrounded by a common foreign land on all sides. Okay, that's called an enclave. Like normally what happens is a country shares its boundaries with various other countries or maybe a water body. But if the country is located inside another country, right, that would be a classical example of enclave. Like Vatican City, it's within Rome, or Gibraltar is in southern Spain, right? So these are examples of enclaves. Surrounded by a foreign territory on all the sides. No, Abhishek, I won't go into that. That could be a controversial statement. Why to jeopardize India's friendly relations with foreign states? So basically what used to happen was, how did the enclaves come up into picture in India? So back in the 18th, 19th century, think of the provinces in the Bengal area. So in the Bengal province, we had all these Maharajas who had large tracts of land, thousands and thousands of acres of land. And these Maharajas had nothing to do in life. They were chilling. Right? Now, let's say there's a Maharaja, say of Rangpur. This is the territory of Maharaja of Rangpur. And we also had a Maharaja of Cooch Behar. Now, these Maharajas, how did they pass time? Like, they did not even have a TikTok to make those cringe-worthy videos and all. Not possible for them. So what would they do? They would pass time by playing chess. Like you play Uno, right? Jenga, Teen Patti, Flush, whatever, poker. Now you bet money, 1 rupee, 2 rupees, chocolate, 5-star. We are poor people. We can bet only these things. These were Maharajas. They would bet villages only. So on one Monday, Maharaja of Cooch Behar wins the match. He says, I want this area. Now this area belongs to Cooch Behar. So Maharaja of Rangpur goes back home on Tuesday, is very angry, upset, right? Goes back home Monday night, eats almond, walnuts, drinks Complan, etc., practices, and increases brain power, comes and wins the next day. Okay. Now he says, I want this part. Now this part belongs to Rangpur. Maybe again on Wednesday, the Maharaja of Cooch Behar wins, and he says, I want this part back. Now look at what is happening here. These people, imagine these people. These people are a part of Cooch Behar, surrounded by Rangpur on all sides, who are surrounded by Cooch Behar on all sides. And look at this. These are people of Cooch Behar now, officially on paper, who are surrounded by Rangpur on all sides. This is called enclave. Okay? Enclaves, and within enclaves, enclaves inside enclaves called counter enclave. Sometimes it was inside this also, counter enclaves. All this drama happened. People here have no idea that these people who are living in Rangpur, suddenly on paper they belong to Cooch Behar. They are living over their life. In comes Cyril Radcliffe, who was given the task to bifurcate the boundaries between India and Pakistan. Cyril Radcliffe came and said, line drawn. Cooch Behar goes to India. Rangpur goes to Pakistan. Now, when you make this kind of statement, you are also saying that this part, which is a part of Cooch Behar on paper, belongs to India. So now these are Indian citizens who are surrounded by East Pakistanis on all sides. East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, on all sides. And these are also Pakistani citizens who are surrounding Indian citizens and are surrounded by Indians on all sides. So this is a classic example of enclave. Now, a very simple problem of Berubari was what? A very simple problem of Berubari was that Berubari was logically a part located in Pakistan side, but it was not clearly bifurcated. So Nehru, who was the first Prime Minister of India, he signed an agreement with Pakistan's Prime Minister Noon, Firoz Shah Noon. And let me just tell you, Pandit Nehru was India's first Prime Minister. Firoz Shah Noon was Pakistan's 7th Prime Minister. 7th. So I hope you know where this country was heading. Within 10 years of independence, they had 7 Prime Ministers. Anyway, Nehru signed this agreement with Firoz Shah Noon saying, okay, you keep Berubari, don't shout, don't fight. Just relax, calm down, as the very famous song goes. But Parliament became very angry. Parliament said, wait, how dare you give land? How dare you reorganize the country without our permission? Parliament by law can reorganize, can reduce any area. Nehru said, okay, wait. Let's ask Supreme Court only. And they went to Supreme Court. In the presidential reference, which article is this? 143, where the parliament or the government, asked the Supreme Court, we want to solve this dispute by giving up this Birbari Union to Pakistan. You please tell us, parliament by law or executive order, what can be done? Supreme Court said, none of the above. Article 368 has to be used. So Supreme Court said that settlement of boundary disputes involving ceding, what is cede? To give up. Ceding Indian territory to another country can only be done through an amendment to the Constitution, which is Article 368. And what was the result? The result was that the 9th Amendment Act of 1960 was passed, with which we solve this problem. Another such example, which you'll be studying in your IR classes, is the 100th Amendment Act of 2015, where all these enclaves, largely the problem was solved. We simply exchanged the enclaves. So India gave control of around 7,000 or 17,000 acres of land, and we got in return 7,000 acres of land. Maybe the Maharaja of Cooch Behar was a better chess player. He had won too much of land in Rangpur, etc. And that chess play was not very good, right? Lack of proper Complan and Horlicks in his diet. Anyway, that is a problem solved now. We have peacefully resolved the problem of exchanging enclaves and all. Clear? So this means that Article 3 is actually limited to internal reorganization only. If you have to settle boundary dispute, then that would require what? That would require Article 368. So just a point to mention here is that Article 3 is limited to internal reorganization. But one more thing, Supreme Court has said in 1969 that if land is not being given, then executive order is sufficient to resolve boundary disputes. Meaning, if no land has to be given to any foreign country, without actually giving up land, if you are resolving any boundary dispute, then executive orders are okay. But you are giving up some territory of India, then you have to go for Article 368, meaning you have to officially amend the Constitution with a special majority. Are we clear? Lakshmi, Kacha Thivu. See, the Kacha Thivu matter is pending in the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court has very clearly said that now we cannot take it back. It's done. It's gone. It's over. So yes, what was there in Kacha Thivu, what happened was wrong actually. The government has no right to give up land to a foreign country like this. But because the judiciary is so fast in taking up these matters, that it's too late now. Now, after 20 years, if you go and claim in 30 years, now if you say, Sri Lanka, come on, give up the land, may not be possible, right? It's like you giving something to somebody and your grandson comes and says, come on, give it back. My grandfather gave you a pencil 60 years back. Give the pencil back to me now. That does not suit, right? So that's it. That is why the courts have to be very active in all these things. Excessive delay creates a problem of the steps that were taken now become irreversible. Right? Okay. Done. Now let's come to the second part of what is this reorganization in the country. The constitutional provisions are done. We are good. Now, just to tell you, I think we discussed this earlier also, that India was reorganized into two different categories before independence. One was the princely states and the other was these governors provinces, where we had the governments, elected provincial governments. After independence, what we did was we created four categories of states in the country, or four categories of areas in the country. Category A or Part A were those areas which used to be earlier British provinces. There we had a proper legislature and the governor. Part B was those areas which were former princely states or a group of covenanting. What's the meaning of covenanting? Covenanting means coming together. So some smaller princely states came together. Covenanting states, and it had Raj Pramukh. Raj Pramukh was a title given to these former princes. The kings of these kingdoms were called Raj Pramukh, and they had been asked to join India, and India had said that, Patel said, don't worry, we'll call you Raj Pramukh. We'll give you pension for life. Then Part C comprised of the smaller princely states and provinces, where we had a chief commissioner. Part C can be seen as something which is a precursor to the modern day UTs. The forerunners. Precursor to UTs. So this is what has become union territories now. The concept. This is the concept. That there will be certain areas in the country which will be directly controlled by the center through a person called administrator appointed. Whatever name you may call the person, LG, administrator, etc. And Part D had only one area, and that was Andaman and Nicobar Island. This was how the country was organized till 1956. We did not have the concepts of states and UTs. We had Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D areas till 1956. Now, what happened was that India still has a lot of languages, and one big aspect of this diversity is the understanding that people of different languages also need to be represented in the government, in government jobs, etc. Administration has to be there in local language for people to understand. Congress in the 1920s only had realized that this is very important. In fact, if you go and study your modern India classes, you'll find that the Congress committees, the working committees, were also organized along linguistic lines, language, right? And what happened was that Congress had promised that once independence is given to us, we'll reorganize the entire country along the lines of language. We'll create provinces, states on the basis of language. Now, in comes 1947 and independence, and people are very, very eager, at least in some provinces like Madras province. So Madras province was not modern day Tamil Nadu. It was extending up till touching the borders of Odisha and stuff, right? So Madras province comprised of a large number of people who used to speak Telugu language. Now, the Telugu speaking people were very excited to have their own state, and the demand was raised. But witnessing the horrors of partition, Nehru had a change of heart. He said, no, no, no. Right now, if we create more division on the basis of language, we'll create these small groups, feeling of sub-nationalism, a nation within a nation. How will there be unity? So he said, no, no reorganization. But because of public pressure, a commission was appointed. The first Linguistic Provinces Commission, LPC, was appointed. The chairman was S.K. Dhar. S.K. Dhar Commission submitted a report in December 1948, and the commission said that, see, we can create states based on administrative convenience, ease of administration. That should be the criteria. Administrative convenience means ease of administration. Now, whether you find it nice or not, that's not my problem, right? On linguistic factor, meaning one state, one language, that we cannot create right now. So once the Dhar Commission gave its report, there were huge protests. And again, the pressure on the government to form one more commission. And second LPC was formed. Second LPC was a big joke. Second LPC had members like Nehru and Patel, who had very clearly said that they don't want reorganization. So if you make them members of any commission, what is the result? The result is that they said, see, language and all, sorry, Dhar Commission is right. We cannot create states on the basis of language. We cannot further divide the country because this could create concerns. Once this report came out, and this committee was called JVP committee because of Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabi Sitaramaiah. JVP committee, right? This committee's recommendation was in favor of Dhar Commission, and because of this, protests, huge protests. So protests in Madras province, because in Madras province, we had people who spoke Telugu, and they felt that if we do not get our own state, then we will be completely out of any government jobs, political positions, etc. We'll be outnumbered by the Tamil speaking people. Originally, this protest was led by Swami Sitaram. But then later on, Vinoba Bhave came to him and said, Swami Sitaram sat on a fast unto death. But in 1951, 15th of August, right, Vinoba Bhave came to him and said, sir, why are you fasting right now? It is very important that the country stays united. So he was weaned out of the movement, and the movement largely subsided. But in small pockets, the demands kept on simmering that no, we want a separate state. But what actually led to a spark and revival of this movement was the death of Polity Sriramulu. Polity Sriramulu died on the 15th of December 1952. And he died after a 56-day hunger strike for a demand for a separate state for the Telugu speaking people. Now, when he passed away, then this matter spread everywhere that somebody has lost his life. See, in our country, it was a culture that people would fast to have their demands met. And nobody passed away in modern India. Nobody. We only know one case of death. That was Jatin Das, along with Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru, and other people when they were protesting against the ill treatment of the Indian prisoners in the prisons compared to the Europeans. They were fasting. And Jatin Das passed away. The only known case of officially somebody dying due to fasting unto death, right? 13th of September 1929. And that was the British government. Now it's our own government. And somebody has given up his life for a cause. Imagine the amount of anger in the people. Is this what we had wanted? Is this what we wanted in future for our country? Independence, that people will die, give up their life for their cause. So because of this, the result was violent protests, and eventually the government finally succumbed to the pressure, and the result was what? The result was the creation of Andhra state. Not Andhra Pradesh, Andhra. And the capital, Kurnool. But the matter did not end, because this was creation of Andhra Pradesh on the 1st of October 1953. Now see, if you accept one demand, you have to accept all demands. That's how it is. So government knew very well that now this has opened the Pandora's box of troubles, because if you don't accept other demands, then that may not be appropriate. So what happened? The government said, let's do one thing, let's create a proper commission only. So the first ever SRC, the States Reorganization Commission, was set up under the chairmanship of the former Supreme Court judge and zamindar from very rich zamindar family in Bihar, Fazal Ali, retired Supreme Court judge Fazal Ali, K.M. Panikar, and H.N. Kunzuru. And this commission took around 18-20 months and finally gave its recommendation and said that, see, language can be accepted. Yes, this commission said, okay, we'll accept language as a criteria. If a large group of people want, then we can create a state on the basis of language. But the same should not be used in a manner that will threaten the unity of this country. So don't create states on the basis of language, because no, in such a fashion that it impacts the national unity. That should not be done. Fair enough. And this commission said that, see, one state, one language, that's not possible. There are over 2,000 languages. We can't have 2,000 states. And one more thing, it said that, see, if you are going to create states on the basis of language, one very, very important criteria is going to be understand that financial viability is important. Meaning what? Is the state financially viable? Can the state survive on its own? Does the state have resource generation capacity or not? So don't create states where there is no resource generation capacity. For example, Arvind Kejriwal constantly demands saying that Delhi should become a state, right? Now, Delhi firstly cannot become a state. It's a capital. A capital cannot be a part of a state. That could cause problems. Secondly, Delhi cannot be a state because Delhi does not have revenue generation. What does Delhi have? Delhi has only two things: shops and coaching institutes, right? For even the most basic needs like water, like food grains, like power, Delhi depends on neighboring states. So that is what we call as a complete lack of financial viability, right? And this Fazal Ali Commission or the SRC said, what is this ABCD nonsense? Remove all that. Just have states and UTs. The government accepted it, made a change in the constitution. The 7th Amendment Act was passed. And with this change, Amendment Act, the States Reorganization Act was also passed. Part A, Part B states distinction was removed. Part C states were abolished. Mergers, etc. happened. And finally, we got 14 states and 6 UTs in 1956. Okay. This is the list of the first 14 states created in 1956. Okay. And these are the 6 UTs created originally: Andaman, Nicobar, Tripura, Delhi, Himachal, Manipur, and Lakshadweep, Minicoy, and Amindivi Islands, Lakshadweep, renamed Lakshadweep later on. And the Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad were merged with Andhra Pradesh. Hyderabad was merged. And finally, we got here also Andhra Pradesh with the capital Hyderabad, which continued to remain till what? Till 2014. In 2014, there was a further bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. That's it. The story of our country's reorganization. Now, one very important point. This is a list of first 14 states. Now, you know very well that we have more than 14 states now. We have 28 states and we have 8 UTs, completely different UTs, right? Barring, I think, Delhi and Andaman, Nicobar, Lakshadweep, we have 5 more UTs now. Now, these things are not important for the examination. Say Punjab and Haryana were bifurcated in 1966, or say Bihar, Jharkhand were bifurcated in the year 2000. So all these things are not important for the examination. Yes, they are important vis-a-vis your interview. If you belong to any such state, let's say you belong to Chhattisgarh, then you should know that Chhattisgarh was formed in the year 2000 after being bifurcated from what? Madhya Pradesh. Same goes for Uttarakhand, same goes for other such states. Clear? So you can refer to your Lakshmikant for that information, but only for the interview. For the prelims and mains, UPSC will not ask such questions. 5.6 onwards, you can skip. Clear? Now, important articles are 1 and 3. And we have also seen one schedule 1. And there is an important case. And what is that case? The Berubari Union case. (1960). Done. Okay. For information on your state, you'll have to go do some Google search. Please do it in case you're interested. If not, nothing. You're missing out on nothing except some basic facts, and UPSC never asks such kind of facts. Okay. Mega, sir, remembering the Indian organization. No. Guys, please don't mug up this list. Not important. I just wanted to ensure a continuity. This list is not important for the examination. Clear? Now, just a small point. We keep on witnessing all these demands made by various states or various groups of people that we want our own state, we want our own state. These demands largely come, and if we keep on creating more states, we'll get very small states, right? We'll get very small states. Now, the point is, if you get a very small state, what is the advantage? Advantage of a small state compared to a bigger state? Tell me. Oh, some of you are copying and writing. Fair enough. Small state versus big state. Pros and cons in favor of a small state. So, a smaller area is easy to administer. Tell me yes or no. I hope everybody here would believe that a smaller area is easier to administer, right? So, of course, we fully accept this fact. And if you have a small area, it is more likely that you will have similar type of people. There is bound to be homogeneity, similar way of life, similar aspirations, similar expectations, similar problems. So, people under similar circumstance and a small area, they can very easily be managed, which can promote development. That's also possible because of the first two, right? So ultimately, because of these two, you can see a sense of development also. Then a smaller area, there people have an increase in the participation in the administration. We say that the administration comes closer to people. People become participants in administration, right? And which can result in what? The locally felt needs and local issues being solved at a much faster pace. Of course, you can have examples also. Examples of how, say, a Jharkhand or say an Uttarakhand, when it was bifurcated from the larger state, then of course we saw higher growth rate in these states, right? So that's there. But then there are some problems also with a small state. Now, the first thing is to define what is small. Now, some of you may say, sir, small means area. Is it? Small can mean small in terms of population also, or density of population also, or small can mean a smaller area with respect to, or small with respect to the human development parameters, economic growth. So what is small? That's a bigger concern first. How to define small? Say a small area like, say, in Arunachal Pradesh, and a small area in Bihar, they may have completely different way of life in terms of how many people are there, right? So density of population is also important. Population is also important. So firstly, there is no fixed criteria of small. Then, if you create more and more states, what eventually happens? Say we created Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So now we have two CM's bungalows, two governors' bungalows, two high courts, duplication of institutions. All the government institutions are duplicated. It's just an additional cost on the exchequer. States' resources are being wasted. Money of the country is wasted. Then, economic viability. A smaller state may have limitation or lack of resources. That's also a very important factor. If you have a smaller area, what if the area has no resource only? Right? Then 70, 80 states. If we have 28 states and there's so much complexity, look at the Bandh which happened recently or yesterday only. What was the Bandh all about? It was about two states fighting with respect to river, right? River water. Imagine we have 4 states now. Imagine the conflict that will keep on happening. The center state and state relations will become more complex, more complicated, right? That will be there. But Asif, High Court and Governor can be common. Can CM be common? Can all the ministers be common? Can the assembly be common? Can the council be common? I mean, look at the larger picture, right? Don't catch these one words and take exceptions. Extrapolation is not logical. Make logical points. Yes, Kaveri water dispute. Exactly. So imagine now hundreds of states. The amount of complication in the center state and state relations. And then a smaller state, limited resources, dependence on center. Always. I'll give an example to help you understand this point. Think of a very simple case. Say, small state and large state. Now, let's say in a small state, there is an area which is infected with left-wing extremism, right? I'm using infected. Please don't feel offended because it is a cause of trouble for our country. If there's any supporter of this ideology of left-wing extremism, you'll have to change your ideology. No better. That it's causing a huge loss of lives of our personnel and loss to the money also. Anyway, now, when this area is affected by, say, Maoists, what happens? Now, what happens here is, let's say this area is impacted with the Maoist activity. A larger state, for at least a small period of time, can devote all its resources to solve this problem because it does have large resources. But a smaller state has limited resources only. Even for a small period of time, it simply cannot accumulate all the resources and put the money there. So this goes to center. That center, please, funds, money, security personnel, please center, do it every time. So this will be a problem. So smaller states also have an increased dependence on center for funds. For funds, that's also there. So what's the conclusion? Should we have a smaller state? Should we have a larger state? Prem Kumar, homogeneity. What we're doing, sir? Homogeneity refers to a small area if you create a very small area, it is more likely. Now, don't give me an exception. I see some aspirants here who try to impress me with giving an exception. In general, a smaller area is more likely to have similar kind of people in terms of their culture and way of life. So homogeneity would ensure more peace, more calm in the area. Plus, similar kind of people with similar way of life will also have similar aspirations, expectations. So it's always more convenient. Clear? What is a solution? Medium-sized states. Uh, no. Let me tell you something. The one thing I think all of you would agree, administrative convenience is actually logical. Yes or no? Administrative convenience is a very logical idea that a smaller area is easy to administer. Now, if this is something that you all are accepting, uh, they already exist. We actually call them, you would remember, we call them panchayats and municipalities. Yes or no? The local bodies. Why don't we empower those local bodies only? If we focus on the adequate devolution of three F's, funds, functions, functionaries, largely the problem will be solved. These statehood demands are mostly for development, that some area has been excluded, right? There is no development in my area, it's being excluded, it's being ignored, etc. So if we empower the local bodies comprehensively, these demands would largely come down. And beyond that, if some demand exists, we are always open to bifurcation based on scientific and logical demands, not irrational demands. Okay. So this can be our conclusion on a small versus big state. There are a lot of these demands. It is just an illustrative list. Various states in, I'm sure everybody here in your state, there is some group which is actually raising some demand for a separate statehood. And if you uh, discount or remove the political demands, most of these demands are built around the lines of being left out of the mainstream, being ignored, right, overlooked by the larger group in the state, right? So this is a concern with respect to the states. And yes, if at any point of time any group does convince the center that yes, they need to be independent from and they need to be a separate state because of homogeneity, etc., and there is a complication in the management, a state has become too large to manage. Think of states like, say, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar, for that matter, not the area but the population density, population. Then we can also look for what, bifurcation. That may always be appropriate. No, this is just an example. I gave the example. You can learn a couple of examples and we can quote them in the answers if and when required. Okay. Now moving on to quickly part 2, that is citizenship, articles 5 to 11. Okay. Firstly, before we move on to citizenship, couple of things I'd like to tell you, starting with 2 points. Number 1, citizenship is a part of union list. Are we clear? So Entry number 17. Union list. This means what? Who has the power to make laws on citizenship? Tell me. Who has the power? Center. So states, whether they like it or not, they will have to follow the center. Okay? Great. Putting that aside, one more thing. Please understand, Supreme Court has said this over and over again, be it the Parvatava versus Chinnava case of 1964 or last year the Subba Raidu case of 2022, that we all are following one citizenship, one domicile. So, single citizenship, single domicile. Now, domicile means residence. Domicile means residence. So, we are all citizens of India. We are all residents of India. Are we clear? We are all citizens of India. We are all residents of India. Now, for maybe your jobs, etc., residence could be a criteria, but otherwise, that is why we have an Article 19 also, which says that you are free to move anywhere in the country, subject to limitations. Now, some terms that you should know. Number one, a citizen. Who is a citizen? Citizen is a participatory member of a political community. These people who are called citizens, they enjoy more rights, plus also have some duties to perform. Enjoy more rights plus the obligation to perform duties. Citizens. The other category of people in any country are called foreigners. Who are these foreigners? Aliens, not the Jadoo alien. Foreigners. My question to all the innocent people here, please tell me, Pakistani, now see, foreigners can be of two kinds, friendly foreigners or enemy foreigners. Pakistani citizens are enemy aliens, yes or no? 10 seconds. A for yes, B for no. No, they are not. Why? Because there is a definition of who is an enemy alien. Foreigners are of two kinds. Enemy aliens are those foreigners who belong to a country, citizens of those country with which India is officially at war. Officially at war. India and Pakistan currently are not officially at war. Which country are we at war with officially? Tell me. No country right now. Don't write China. Is there any war with China? Is there any government order which says that we are fighting a war with China right now? No. India is not officially at war with any country right now. So nobody right now is enemy alien of the country. If tomorrow we have war with China, Chinese citizens will become enemy aliens. Are we clear? Everyone? And everybody else, all other foreigners, are friendly aliens. So Pakistani and Chinese citizens, whether you like them or not, they are friendly aliens only. Are we clear? They are not enemy aliens. Okay? G20 members, everybody is a friendly alien. Everybody right now for India. If we ever are at war with any country, then the people of that country will become enemy aliens. Now, Pooja, but friendly is how the alien? What kind of sentence is this, Pooja? Firstly, frame it properly and then ask this question. Okay, Aditya, great, amazing. We'll meet shortly. Migrant and refugee. Now, see, in our country also, people leave their home, their place of residence, the place where they are born, and move to different parts of the country. Somebody from Odisha can go to Gujarat to work. Somebody from Tamil Nadu will go to Maharashtra to work. Somebody from, say, Bihar will go to Punjab to work. Right? People move. Similarly, the people also leave the country and go out to some other country. They are migrants. Why are we calling them migrants? Because migrants have a choice. Free will. A very, very important element of being a migrant is that it's free will, choice. Out of choice, you leave your country and go to USA, etc., for better opportunities. Now, if you leave the country and go to some other country on valid documents, passport, visa, etc., you are called a legal migrant. Imagine somebody comes to our country. So if you go to any country, two things are required. One is the passport of your country to show which country you belong to. And number two, the permission given by that country where you are entering. That country also has to give you permission. Okay, come to our country for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, etc. That is called visa. Clear? So if you want to come to India, you have to show us your passport, which is the proof of which country you are coming from. And also, you have to take our permission that you will come to India and stay in India for how many days, etc. So that's called legal entry, valid documents. Visa, passport. But sometimes some people come illegally, like Bajrangi Bhaijan, Taro ke niche se. That kind of situation. Now that would make somebody an illegal migrant. Okay? Illegal migrant. Just a minute, guys. We don't know about Seema. I mean, I'm not sure what is the story. Shiddat. Ajay, movie Shiddat, starring Vicky Kaushal's brother. Okay. Acha, yes. Yes, Seema Haider. We don't know about Seema Haider and all. Okay. Prem Kumar, sir, who is Bajrangi? Arey, sir, ignore it. If by any chance I make a statement which is seemingly a joke, ignore it. Explaining a joke makes no sense. Right? So, when people enter the country without any valid documents, right, that is called illegal entry, and you are an illegal migrant. Okay, please understand that we do not give illegal migrants are not allowed to apply for Indian citizenship. Not allowed to apply for Indian citizenship. I'll use this symbol for citizen in the PPT. So this is CZ, don't be confused. Okay, not allowed to apply for Indian citizenship. Illegal migrants, the target is to find them out and send them back to their parent country. We have to identify you and deport you. Till then, put you in jail. Okay. Lakshmi, that will be explained to you in the India-Nepal relations. Naitra, this is the same in almost every country. Illegal migrants are not given citizenship in any country. But see, you are a migrant because you left India and you went to some other country out of choice. Oh, nice. Switzerland is very nice. Let's go there. Like Pakistanis and Bangladeshis come to India. India is very nice. Let's go here. So that's a choice. What if you are running away from your country, not out of choice, but you are being forced? Not choice, but force. Okay. For example, say Rohingya Muslims. So if in your country your community is facing some kind of persecution, there is some armed conflict in your country, armed conflict, there is some persecution, there is some war, and you are running away from that, then you are called a refugee, because there is no option for you. You are not leaving the country out of choice. Now, refugees, when they come to your country, ideally, morally, we should not expel them and force them to return to the situation where their life and freedom is under threat. But India has not signed any such declaration, any such pact that if somebody comes running to our country and seeks help, we are bound to help them. Sorry, we are not bound to help anybody. So even if you are a refugee, we can throw you out saying, sorry, please leave. We already have too many people. So India, out of goodwill gesture, may accept you, but we are not under any obligation to accept any refugee. Are we clear on this basic information, everybody? I hope it's all okay. Now, let's look at the constitutional provisions on Indian citizenship. So, unlike all other provisions of our constitution, these articles are not important. These articles are done. The purpose of these articles is over. So, the constitution only tells us who will be an Indian citizen on the date of commencement of the constitution. What is commencement date? On which date did the constitution begin? On the 26th of January 1950. On this date, the Indian constitution commenced. So the article will only tell us on this date who became an Indian citizen and who was not to be called an Indian citizen. That's it. In future, who becomes an Indian citizen, how to get Indian citizenship, how to lose it, the constitution is silent on it. It says nothing about it. It has said that parliament will make a law and decide. So as far as these articles are concerned, they are not important. I'll tell you very briefly, but these articles are not important. Now, there are two concepts that you should know for citizenship. Any and every country will give you citizenship on these two concepts only. One concept is called JUS SOLI, Jus Soli, or the correct pronunciation is Jus Soli. This is pronounced as Jus Soli. It's okay, you can call it whatever you want. Jus soli is a concept of citizenship by birth. Meaning, by virtue of being born on that soil, you are automatically called the citizen of that country. Clear? The second concept is jus sanguinis. Sanguinis. Sanguinis means citizenship by ancestry. Meaning you are given citizenship based on the citizenship of your parents. Are you clear? India does not follow this anymore. Since 1987, we have no such concept of jus soli, because since 1987, your parents have to be Indian citizens. Only then can you be called an Indian citizen. Even if you're born in India, it does not matter. Are we clear? Anyway, we'll come to it later on. Now look at Article 5. This is Article 5. Very, very simple and basic. Don't mug up these articles. Don't expect any question on these articles. Every person who has domicile who is residing in the territory of India and who was born in India, or whose parents were born in India, or who has been residing in the territory of India for not less than 5 years, immediately before the commencement. What is this commencement? What date? Commencement 26th of January 1950. The date of commencement. They shall be called citizens of India. Simple. Then we have Article 6. Article 6 says that all those people who came from Pakistan to India, when the partition was done, who came from Pakistan to India, if you came before this date, you will be called an Indian citizen. No problem. This date has no historical importance. On this date, an ordinance was passed just to keep a check. So if you had come to India after this date from Pakistan, you had to get yourself registered in front of a competent officer. Basically, an officer was appointed, right? And you had to get yourself registered that I have come from Pakistan, I want to be in India. Done. Registration over, done. You are now an Indian citizen on 26th of January 1950. Simple. So very simple provisions. Now, next is Article 7. This is for the confused people. You are in India and the partition is announced. And you say, oh, let's go to Pakistan. Pakistan will be an amazing country. And you go to Pakistan. And then realize, oh, sorry, by mistake I have come to Pakistan. No, back to India. And then you go back to India. So for those people who migrated to Pakistan after this date, but returned to India under a permit of resettlement, that I want to resettle. I had gone to Pakistan, but I realized that I made a huge mistake. Who will go to Pakistan? But I went to Pakistan, but now I'm coming back to India. So for these people, do you have to get an extra permit? Only then will you be allowed to come. And then any person who are either of whose parents or any of whose grandparents was born in India, you can also be called an Indian citizen. Simple. Now, no person will be deemed to be a citizen if he voluntarily acquired the citizenship of any foreign state. If you acquire the citizenship of any foreign country before 26th of January 1950, you will not be called an Indian citizen. Sorry, tata, bye bye. Are you clear, everyone? Lastly, Parliament can make laws with respect to acquiring and terminating citizenship. Article 11 says that the Parliament has the right to make laws for how to get Indian citizenship in future, because the Constitution only tells us who will become Indian citizen till 26th of January 1950. In future, how to acquire it or how to lose it, Parliament will decide. And Ambedkar mentioned also that it is not the objective of this particular article to lay down a permanent law of citizenship in the country. The business of laying down such a law has been left to the Parliament. And has the Parliament made a law? Yes, it has. This is the law made by the Parliament. This law is called the Citizenship Act of 1955, amended 9 times so far. We had 8 CAAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last CAA was a cause of concern for a lot of people. This is the CAA 2019. We'll discuss it towards the end. So this is the law which tells us how to get Indian citizenship and how to lose Indian citizenship. So firstly, how to acquire citizenship. So citizenship can be acquired through various ways. These are all sections under your Citizenship Act. Sections. Section number is not important, so don't go crazy. I am just writing it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By birth. If you are born in India, if you are born on Indian soil, all of you, then you will be given Indian citizenship. But since 1987, it also depends on citizenship of parents. So you have to be born in India and your parents are also Indian citizens. Only then will you get Indian citizenship. Are we clear, everyone? Then this is by descent. This is for people who are born outside India. So some of you here who will become IFS officers, who will go to foreign countries, will marry there. Have kids. Now these kids are born outside India, but they will also be called Indian citizens because you are an Indian citizen. So this also depends on citizenship of parents. Okay. Then by registration. What is this registration? And by naturalization. What is naturalization? These two provisions are meant for foreigners. For foreigners. Are we clear? Foreigners. Registration is meant for those people who are foreigners but who have some association with an Indian citizen. Association with Indian citizen, either by marriage or by ancestry. For example, if somebody comes to India and gets married to you, a foreigner, imagine you get to marry a foreigner. Okay, things can happen in life. Don't lose hope so much. Assume that a foreigner falls in love with you, right? By mistake. He or she comes to India and gets married to you. They can apply for Indian citizenship under registration. Clear? But they have to stay in India for 7 years. So the marriage has to survive for 7 years. After 7 years of torture with you, then they can apply for Indian citizenship. Not before that. Clear? An example of this case is Sonia Gandhi. She obtained Indian citizenship through registration. I hope this point is clear. Naturalization is for those people who are foreigners with no link to India. So let us assume that somebody is a foreigner who sees on YouTube some street food of India. Oh, Indian street food, right? Full of spices, full of butter, cheese, etc. So no link to India. That person sees these YouTube videos and then comes to India and says, I want to be an Indian citizen. Then you can apply for Indian citizenship. Very simple. But here there is a clause. The clause is that you have to live in India for some time. For how much time? Let me explain. Please follow carefully. When you are applying for citizenship, this is 12 months and this time is 14 years. If you're applying for citizenship, like this is the date of application. Okay. Now, in this previous last 12 months, you have to live in India continuously. Live in India continuously. And the prior 14 years, in the prior 14 years, you have to live for any 11 years. Meaning you can go back to your country, again come back to India, etc. Are we clear, everybody? So, in total, how many years must you live in India before you can apply for citizenship under naturalization? Tell me. 11 plus 1, 12. 12 years. Who is saying 25? Did we understand this naturalization? Let us say today I want to apply for Indian citizenship. I will have to prove that I have been living in India for the last 12 months. I have documents, because how can I live in India? I can live in India on visa, government's permission. So I'm living in India. And the previous 12 years, so from 2022 to 2023, I'm living in India continuously. And from 2008 to 2022, I have lived in India for 11 years at least. That is how we can apply for citizenship through naturalization. Clear? Okay. Everybody, Harshita, it's 7 years. Yes, Nuti Kodi, of course. If you are a foreigner, you are giving up that citizenship to get Indian citizenship. That's very logical. So these are ways to apply for Indian citizenship. People who are getting this citizenship on naturalization, there's an additional condition here, and that condition is that they have to also take an oath of allegiance to India. Just like our ministers take an oath, so they also take an oath of allegiance that I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the Indian Constitution, etc. For example, Dalai Lama, naturalization. For example, Adnan Sami, naturalization. Are we clear, everybody? And lastly, very, very simple, if we incorporate any territory, if tomorrow we attack Pakistan and capture Pakistan, then all the people of Pakistan may become Indian citizens by incorporation of territory. Meaning, central government may provide citizenship via notification. So it is possible that we may attack Pakistan, but we will not give the people living in Pakistan Indian citizenship. That's possible, right? So this does not happen naturally, that we capture some territory and now naturally the people of that area become Indian citizens. That will not happen automatically. The government has to give notification that, okay, we have captured a land, you are Indian citizens now. Are we clear? Everybody, this is how you acquire Indian citizenship. And very simple, how to lose Indian citizenship. That's also there. How to lose it? Very easy. There are 3 ways to lose it. Number 1, if you renounce the Indian citizenship, you give up the Indian citizenship, that I don't want to be an Indian citizen. Renounce means give up, or you take some other country's citizenship. You take some other country's citizenship, like the man in picture, right? Take up citizenship of another country. But one point, these 2 things may not be applicable during war. Not applicable when India is at war. Take an example. If tomorrow India and China are fighting, and China says that if we win the war, we'll kill all Indian citizens, and you immediately say, I give up Indian citizenship. Government of India, I am not Indian citizen. Sorry. Are you clear? So this may not be possible. Government can say, no, 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 no. You are here, you live and die with us only. No escape. Third thing is deprivation. This deprivation is done by Government of India. Government of India can take away your citizenship. But this is only meant for people only applicable on people who obtained citizenship through registration plus naturalization. Are you clear? As of now, there is no law in the country which tells us how the government can take away our citizenship. For people who have obtained citizenship by birth or descent, there is no law in the country which can take away our citizenship. Until and unless we give up citizenship, there is no option. And this is for various reasons. What can be a reason? Why will the government take away your citizenship? Number one, if you show disloyalty to the constitution, if you have obtained the citizenship by fraud, etc. Obtained citizenship this is how you can lose your citizenship. Just one more point on naturalization. A very important point is that, see, naturalization requires somebody to live in India for 12 years, 12 long years. But government of India can remove this criteria. If you are somebody who has contributed immensely in the field of art, in the field of science, in the field of, say, literature, in the field of human progress, philosophy, right, world peace, etc., then the government can say, okay, come on, come to India. If tomorrow Elon Musk wants to come to India and says, I want Indian citizenship, we can say, okay, you have contributed a lot to science, come on, come to India, no problem, right? So that is there. Now, acquiring citizenship and losing citizenship. I have given information at the end also, towards the end, details of how these things work. Like, say, by birth, if you are born till this date, then by birth, regardless of parents' nationality. Between this date, if either parents are Indian citizens. After this date, if both of your parents are citizens, or one parent is an Indian citizen and other should not be an illegal migrant. Then by descent, again the same story. By registration, by naturalization. See, central government may waive all or any of the conditions for naturalization in the case of a person who has rendered distinguished service to science, philosophy, art, literature, world peace, human progress. Clear? Same goes for renunciation, termination, deprivation. So these dates are not important. So far, a question on these dates has never been asked in the examination. But if somebody wants to mug up the information, it is up to them. Your life, your rules. Waste it, spoil it. Who am I to tell you what to do? Right? I have given you the information so that there is no crybaby here who says, sir, I want to know the dates. I want to impress random people with this useless information. Feel free. Okay? Vaibhav, oath is administered by an officer who is sitting there. That's it. He is a normal human being. Do you think that the president will come and administer the oath or what? Yes, Pooja, not to Indian people. Only one person, madam. How will you marry to Indian people? One person. Yes, Sonia Gandhi got citizenship by marriage to an Indian citizen. Not Indian people. Are we clear, everybody? All okay? Let's take a quick break. Be back at 7 and we'll you would know in terms of fur. Don't say yes, no. 6 hours, 5 or 6. See, okay. Classes, videos are already off. Then this is just a tentative time. Yes, this Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 or 6. We cannot. Please don't take class, sir. Arch, you can watch it at any table with October. This is going. Uh, yes. We now called it all about East and West Pakistan. So this was West Pakistan, and this was East Pakistan. Now, East Pakistan had a different way of life, different culture, different language. Bengali, West Pakistan, Urdu speaking people, and West Pakistan used to constantly enforce their way of life on East Pakistan. That was happening consistently. So, East Pakistanis were also facing atrocities, brutalities. And people from East Pakistan were coming inside India, escaping brutalities at the hands of the West Pakistani soldiers here. And they would come to Assam, disturbing the local culture, custom of Assam. So the Assamese people were very upset about it. Finally, in 1971, after the Mukti Juddho, the Bangladesh Liberation War, when India chopped off a part of Pakistan to create a new country called Bangladesh. Now the people of Assam said that, see, now Bangladesh has been created. Now why are still these people coming to Assam? They should stay in their own country. See, till 1971, West Pakistanis were committing atrocities, I understand. But now stay in in your own country. So this agreement was signed. And what was that? The Citizenship Act was modified, and it said that people who came before this date into Assam, not other parts, people from East Pakistan who entered Assam before this date, they would be given full citizenship, no problem. People who came between these two dates, 1st of Jan to 24th of March 1971, the Liberation War date, they will be given Indian citizenship only after they have lived continuously in India for 10 years. Till then, no right to vote, otherwise all the rights. After 10 years, full citizenship, which means including the right to vote. Okay. Now, when it comes to this situation, the real problem, I would say, in this accord was that people who came to India or Assam after this date, the Indian government was asked, you please identify them and deport them. Send them back to their parent country. They should be identified and they should be deported. This was the Assam Accord. Are we clear, everybody? The Assam Accord, the Citizenship Amendment Act 1985. Now, can I ask you a simple question here? When it comes to the Indian government being asked to find out those people who had come after this date and deport them, the deportation has to, deport meaning send back. Send back to which country? Tell me. Deport to which country? Bangladesh, East Pakistan, yes or no? The parent country. Why would Bangladesh accept those people? Why would Bangladesh accept those people? If I ask you a simple question, if today Pakistan says that we have signed an agreement between our student organization and one association, political party, that we have found that there are 10 lakh people who have escaped India and have come to Pakistan. India, take them back. Will India take those 10 lakh people back? Why? Why not? I saw some of you saying in the earlier case that they should, Bangladesh should. Why not? Now you are saying, why will India take them? Just like what is the proof that Pakistan has that they have come from India? Similarly, what proof can we offer that somebody came from Bangladesh to India in 1974? What's the proof? Are you getting my point here? Did everybody understand? The accord you signed was amongst yourself. We are signing amongst ourselves and are including a foreign country. Bangladesh also has the exact same problem that India has. Too many people. If you ask Bangladesh, take these people, they will ask us, do you want people? How many? Take from us. We'll give you double the amount. So this is a problem. That we have signed an agreement, but how to send them back? And why would some other country accept them? That's a big concern. I hope now the point is clear for those who said no. Why not? Why should Bangladesh not accept? There is no proof. Are we clear now? Everybody? Okay. Now moving on to understanding couple of terms. So one more thing. I hope everybody knows that NRIs are Indian citizens. Is there anybody who thinks otherwise? Let's take one poll. 10 seconds only. But NRIs are Indian citizens. Okay. We saw the right to vote also. So they are Indian citizens. Those people who are not living in India or who live outside India for more than 182 days in a year are called NRI. More than 182 days. Overseas citizen of India. What is this concept? Now, there is a word citizen attached here. Citizen. But they are not Indian citizens. Are we clear? There is a word citizen attached. Still, they are not Indian citizens. Please don't make the mistake of considering them as Indian citizens. They are foreign nationals, meaning foreigners. Any person who was an Indian citizen on this date or after this date, or who was eligible to become Indian citizen, or who belonged to any part that became part of India after this date, or who is a child, a grandchild, great-grandchild of such citizen, or who is a minor, you are called an OCI, Overseas Citizen of India, but not an Indian citizen in the legal sense. Then one more word is there, PIO, person of Indian origin. This also is a foreigner only. A foreign citizen who at any time held an Indian passport. Who will hold an Indian passport? Tell me. Who holds an Indian passport? Indian citizen. So anybody who was earlier an Indian citizen, or who or either of their parents were Indian citizens, or grandparents or great-grandparents was born and was living in India, they are called PIO. Now you may say, sir, but PIO and OCI, they seem to be similar only. Exactly. There's a lot of overlap. Just understand one simple word. You are called an OCI or PIO if right now you are a foreigner. But in the past, you used to be an Indian citizen, or you had the opportunity of being an Indian citizen, or your parents used to be Indian citizens. Are we clear? Simple. Karthik, is it okay now? Any foreigner who could have been an Indian citizen, or who used to be an Indian citizen, or whose parents used to be an Indian citizen, they are now given a title or a tag called OCI or PIO. Are we clear? Like Akshay Kumar. Till recently, Akshay Kumar was an OCI. But now he has obtained his Indian citizenship back. Now comes the big point here. This OCI and PIO are almost the same. There's no difference only. That is why the government of India said, why do we have two tags? It's the same. So we have merged it. And now we call these people OCI card holders. Because OCI PIO was almost very similar, so we have merged it now. Sir, provide me note. What's the meaning of this, Karthik? What is provide me note? Anyway, did we understand this? Please don't go and mug up this definition. It is not important for the examination. Hear what I'm saying. Don't collect useless information. If you want to, the facts are mentioned here. Mug up the facts. Simple. What is there to explain here? Any foreigner who used to be an Indian citizen. What to explain it? So just hear what I'm saying. You are a foreigner right now, meaning you are a citizen of some other country, but earlier, maybe you used to be an Indian citizen, or maybe your parents were Indian citizens. Now they have gone to a foreign country, they have settled there, and they have taken that citizenship only. You are their kid. You are called OCI or PIO. The idea is to have a diaspora of the country across the globe. People who are of Indian origin, right? People who used to be Indian citizens but now living across the globe and are citizens of various countries. The so-called soft power can be used like this. Okay? That's it. So OCI card holders is this category of people who used to be Indian citizens. Now, what is the advantage of being an OCI card holder? You will say that, sir. So what? Now I'm a US citizen. I have no relation to India now. For the past 15 years, I'm living in USA. I don't even go to India. What's the advantage? The advantage is that anybody else who comes to India has to apply for Indian passport, Indian visa. You don't. You have a lifelong multiple entry visa. You come to India at any point of time, go out of India at any point of time, no problem. Vis-a-vis entry and exit, we'll treat you as Indian citizen only. Okay? On their passport, there's a sticker called OCI U visa sticker. Okay? OCI U visa sticker, which is stuck on their passport. So they can freely come to India, leave India, etc. No problem whatsoever. Then, no registration requirement when they come and get registered. They can buy non-farm property in India, not agricultural property, but non-agri property they can purchase. And they have parity, equality. What is parity? Equality with NRIs in financial, economic, educational matters, meaning these OCI card holders can come and get start a business. They can run an economic activity. They can study in schools, etc. What can they not do? OCI card holders cannot. Tell me, what can they not do? They cannot, number one, vote. Number two, purchase agricultural land. And number three, hold constitutional posts. They can't do these three things. Otherwise, they have the same kind of right. Are they clear? So wherever you have to a qualification of an Indian citizen, they are not fit. Otherwise, it's okay. No problem. Clear? Now, one more thing. Proof of citizenship. What is a proof of citizenship? Tell me. Guys, don't say Aadhaar. Firstly, please don't type Aadhaar. Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. It is mentioned on the Aadhaar card. Now, there was a case called Sarbanand Sonowal case, where Supreme Court said that what is a proof of citizenship? Any document which can establish your name, of course, date of birth, place of birth, and date of birth or proof of citizenship of parents, right? So their date of birth plus their place of birth of parents. If you can provide for these documents, we'll accept that as a proof of citizenship. Now you may ask, sir, so tell us exactly what is the proof of citizenship. So let me tell you what the government has told us so far. Currently, what is MHA? MHA stands for Ministry of Home Affairs. Amit Shah's ministry. Ministry of Home Affairs. So currently, MHA states that no final decision has been made on proof of citizenship. So government right now says, right now, we cannot say clearly. However, acceptable documents may include, of course, your birth certificate, your passport, EPIC. It may include driving license, school leaving certificate. It may also include Aadhaar. But I'm reminding again, currently Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. Are we clear? These are the 6 things that the government of India has said that maybe in future we will accept these documents. Maybe. Look at the situation. The government cannot even tell us for sure that having a passport, having an epic, who has epic? Tell me. In our country, who is allowed to vote? What is the one criteria for voting? Indian citizenship, right? This means that people who have epic are Indian citizens. Epic, for those who have no idea what we're talking about, epic means the voter I card. I hope you all know epic is voter I card. I saw somebody saying what is epic. Disheartening when you ask these questions. Anyway, so look at the situation that the government is not even clarifying the passport. By who gets passport? Tell me. Indian citizen, right? But the government is not saying that this is acceptable. No, may be acceptable. So we are trying to make various laws and giving people all this drama of Citizenship Act and all without even having an assurance that this is a guaranteed sure shot proof of citizenship. So as of now, there is no guaranteed proof of citizenship. It depends. DL means driving license. Driving license. Are we clear, everyone? The proof of citizenship. Now coming to some other terms. Number one, NPR. What is NPR? Look at the name. Population register. Register, list. List of all the people. All the people. List of all the people of the country. Includes foreigners, not just citizens. It is a register of all the usual residents of this country. Who is a usual resident? Anybody who is living in the country for 6 months or who has been living for the past 6 months or who plans to live for the next 6 months in the country is called a usual resident. It includes both citizens and foreigners. It was done for the first time in 2010, then in 2015. First in 2010, second in 2015. This is currently on hold. Currently, it is on hold. Clear? Okay. And it is also an electronic database now. So government is now updating information in an electronic form, storing it in electronic form. So what is this? Who prepares it? This is prepared by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner. And under the Citizenship Act 1955, it is mandatory for every usual resident to register in the NPR. Now you may say, sir, why do you want to collect this data? See, before that, let me tell you what are we collecting, and then I'll come to that. So what questions are asked in NPR? It's based on self-declaration. No proof is required. Somebody comes and asks you your name, father's name, mother's name, your gender, spouse name, relationship to the head of household, your marital status, date of birth, place of birth, address, place of birth of parents. Very strange, right? Educational qualification, nationality, as you will claim, no problem. Duration of stay in the present address, occupation, mother tongue, all this data is collected. Now, why is this collected? See, the government says we want to collect individual information and prepare schemes for the betterment of our people. So to prepare more accurate, more exact, more precise schemes, we want to collect this data. Are we clear? This is what is the purpose of NPR. Now some will say, but sir, we also have census. Census also collects data. So let me tell you, whatever data is collected under census, census is only meant for collecting group data. You cannot get individuals information under census, because under the Census Act 1948, Section 15, records of census are confidential in nature. You cannot get us individuals data in census and use it. You can't. That is why NPR is designed to collect identity details of every individual. Which can later be used by various government departments for selection of beneficiaries under their respective schemes. So to make better schemes, we collect NPR, National Population Register. Government says it has no relationship to your citizenship. What is the government collecting? Date of birth, place of birth. Why is this required? If I want to make better schemes for any person, why is this required? Place of birth of parents. Why is that required? Are you getting my point? These things are only required for citizenship. So the government is saying that this is just to collect data to make better schemes, but the way you are asking questions, no question being asked on what are the resources with the family. Are you a BPL category person or not? No, not those things. They're asking you place of birth of parents. What has that got to do with preparing a good scheme for your betterment? Nothing. Are you getting my point? Anyway, as of now, this has been put on hold, so we don't really know what will happen in future. But just hold on to this information, NPR. We'll discuss it again shortly. This is called NPR, National Population Register. One more term that you should know is NRC. Now, NRC is a list of citizens. Clear? NRC is a list of citizens. See, as of now, NRC is only for Assam. Currently, it is only for Assam. So, this is a record of all the citizens. NPR contains everybody's name, aliens and citizens. NRC is only for citizens. NRC. This is only for citizens. In Assam, who had migrated to Assam before this date. It is prepared after the very first census and was conducted right up to village level. This is, I know nothing is visible here, but this was a National Register of Citizens. Can you see at the top? This. So all the names of all the people, your door number, colony number, road number, how many people, their age, their gender, everything was collected. And we had to regularly update it. It was never updated only. Now, after the Assam Accord, it was more urgent to update it because we wanted to know which people were Indian citizens living in Assam. So, those who were not in NRC, your name will be excluded, meaning you are a migrant or illegal migrant if you don't have proper documents. So, this NRC updation firstly is being done on Supreme Court order. Don't think that the government is doing it on its own. No. Government has no interest in any NRC, etc. Because What they are going to collect now? List of all the people and their descendants, their kids, grandkids, whose names were there in the voter list till 1971 or in the original NRC or any of the documents which are permissible. Documents like land records, birth certificate, such kind of documents. If you can present any such document, then also your name will be included in the NRC. Simple. Now this NRC was prepared and the first list was released in July. 30th of July was the date of 2018. This list was released. List was published. When this list was published, 19 lakh people living in Assam, their names were not included. Meaning 19 lakh people supposedly were not Indian citizens living in Assam. Meaning 19 lakh people supposedly were illegal migrants. Then one more list was published, additional list, in the month of August 2019. Now, the final list yet to be published. My question to all of you here is very simple. Let us say we are preparing an NRC. We have prepared the NRC. Now this NRC will include the names of all the Indian citizens who live in Assam. The remaining people will not be a part of the list. So meaning they are illegal migrants. Let's say not 19 lakh, let's say 10 lakh people are found to be illegal migrants. Now tell me, what suggestion do you have for them? What to do with them? Tell me. Quickly. What to do with them? Keep them in India, but no vote. Send them back. So all those who are saying send them back, where? Send them where? Don't say Bangladesh. Why would Bangladesh accept them? Why? How? Where to deport? We can't go and take them in a helicopter and drop them inside Bangladesh. Imagine somebody in 1975 came to India. His son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter are born in India only, living here for the past 40 years. And now you tell them, get lost, go back. How is it possible? I hope you are able to understand the seriousness of this issue, right? Okay, so yes, a lot of you are saying give them citizenship, etc. in future, if not right now. That's the only option. And imagine if we give them citizenship, what precedent are we setting for future also? Some of you are saying that give them citizenship because there's no option. That's true actually, there's no option. But if you are giving them citizenship, are we setting a very good precedent for future? That see, what's happening in India? Are you enter India? After 10 years, they'll give you citizenship. What's the problem? So this is a very unique kind of problem that we are facing. And even now, the governments are yet to come up with the final list. The task they should have been doing in 1971 only, 1985 only. Still they have not done it, and they are still not doing it. Some of you are saying make strong laws. We already have strong laws. What strong laws to make? Right? Anyway, so this is a situation right now. Apart from this, when the NRC updation was being done, it has been found. I'll tell you some other points here, not really important for examination. Prateek Hajela, an IAS officer, was made in charge of NRC, the state coordinator. He has now been sent back to MP cadre because his life is under threat in Assam. It is said that Prateek Hajela disobeyed all the laws, did not do quality checks also, and he has allowed lot of declared foreigners, doubtful voters, and their descendants' name in the list. So even this list is not a very correct one. People are saying lot of wrong names. People see, neighbors would know that you are not a original Assamese person. They are claiming that lot of these wrong names have entered the list and right names are outside the list. Poor people's names not there in the list. And the original estimate in 2014 to prepare NRC was 288 crore rupees. The task supposedly was to complete in around 300 crore rupees, 288 crores. But by 2019, to finish the temporary two lists, 1580 crore rupees has been spent 5 times. How is this happening? Imagine you think that I'll be spending only 1000 rupees, but you end up spending 5 times the amount. How can there be such miscalculation? 5 times the amount of miscalculation. There's something rotten here completely. And that when there are allegations that this Wipro Limited, which was the system integrator to update information, their staff are claiming that we were not given minimum wages also. The bare minimum wages were also not given. There are cases filed that we were not even given basic salary. Where has the money gone? We don't know where the money has gone. No discussions happening here. Exchequer's 1300 crore rupees has been wasted, but we are silent. Anyway, for some of you become IAS officers and get posted in the northeastern state of Assam, you have a problem at hand in future to deal with, right? So yes, life may be amazing for an IAS officer, but not too amazing. Difficult responsibility on your shoulders. What to do with these people? If you put them in camps, what will happen? It will be breeding grounds for insurgency in India. Imagine how easy is it going to be for these terrorists to brainwash these people, saying, look at what India has done to you. For 30, 40 years, you were living in India only. But now you're deemed outsider. Right? Anyway. Solve this question. Came in the year 2020. A citizen by birth only can become head of state. Who is the head of the state? The president. Tell me, what is the criteria? You just have to be the citizen. It is not mentioned that you have to be the head of the state only. Or you have to be born in India naturally. No. Anybody can become the president. The only condition is you have to be an Indian citizen. Whether you've obtained that through naturalization, whether you obtained it through registration, we don't care. Okay? This statement is actually valid for country like USA. Okay? And a foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived of it. And so 2 is wrong. So these 2 are wrong. A foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstance. That is wrong. Deprivation can be done. Yes or no? Deprivation is possible. Section 10 of Citizenship Act says that if you have shown disloyalty, etc., your citizenship can be taken away. Deprivation. So it is allowed. This means it is wrong. So A1 only is the right answer. It is a right answer anyway. And we began our discussion by seeing this statement only, that we have a single citizenship and single domicile. Yes or no? Okay, and the last topic under this heading is the topic you already know, the CAA 2019. Okay. Okay, and the last topic under this heading is the topic you already know, the CAA 2019. Align the information with filling up all the gaps that you may have. A small reminder, firstly, that illegal migrants are not allowed to apply for citizenship. Remember, the starting point of our discussion was this only, that if you are an illegal migrant, sorry, you are not allowed to apply for Indian citizenship. In fact, you will be imprisoned. You will be deported to the parent country where you have come from under two laws. Law number 1 is the Foreigners Act, and law number 2 is the Passport Entry into India Act. Okay, under these two laws, you will be deported, sent back, or you'll be jailed till the time we cannot find your citizenship or where you have come from. Now, back in 2015, a notification was released by the central government that some people who have come from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and who have come before last year, 2015, last year, 2014, and who belong to the religions of Hinduism, Sikhism, or they are Buddhists, or Jains, or Parsis, or Christians, they will not be punished under these two laws. This was the original notification, that yes, they are illegal migrants, but we will not punish them. Exempted certain groups of illegal migrants from being imprisoned or deported. Right? Okay. So what is a CAA? Firstly, CAA 2019 does not give anybody any citizenship. It does not. What it does is, it only stops treating certain people as illegal migrants. If I stop treating you as an illegal migrant, this means what? Now you are a legal migrant. This means what? You are now eligible to apply for Indian citizenship. The act states that the specified class of illegal migrants, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi, or Christian, from 3 countries, will not be treated as illegal migrants. This is the clause. It does not give anybody any right to Indian citizenship. It simply says you will not be called illegal migrants. Why? Because the idea is that in these 3 countries, these communities are getting persecuted, and hence treating them as illegal migrants and sending them back to those countries would be like adding to their suffering. That's the logic. Now, on acquiring citizenship, if they apply for citizenship and acquire Indian citizenship, such illegal migrants will be considered to be Indian citizen from their date of entry into India. From their date of entry into India. And any case, if so, any case whatsoever, was there against them under the Passport Entry into India Act or Foreigners Act, all cases will be dropped. Are we clear on this now? CAA does not give anybody any citizenship. It simply makes people eligible to get or obtain an Indian citizenship. Clear? Okay. Now, one small change. Did we, do you remember the naturalization period? Naturalization. How long do you have to stay in the country? Give me the breakup. Give me the breakup. Not the total. 1 plus 11. Yes or no? For these 12 months continuously. And in the previous 14 years, 11 years. And here, continuously. Yes or no? All clear so far? 11 plus 1. For these illegal migrants who will not be called illegal migrants now, for them, this period, this 11 years is now being reduced to 5 years. Making it total, how many years? 5 plus 1, 6 years. For the specified class of illegal migrants, the number of years of residency has been relaxed from 11 to 5 years. Are we clear on this? Everyone so far? This is the law. One small point. This law also says that the government can cancel your OCI card. For all those OCI card holders, government can cancel your OCI card. How? If you break any law, violation of any law, what kind of law? Jumping the signal. If you come to India and cross the red light, will your card be cancelled? Of course not, but nothing is mentioned. Violation of any law notified by the government. So government will tell us in future, make rules. So basically, government will make rules and will tell us what kind of laws, if you break, will result in cancellation of your OCI card. Are we clear? Everybody so far? All on board? Okay. Now one more thing. The benefit of the CAA, it's a benefit, right, to those people who are getting the advantage of applying for citizenship. This benefit will not be applicable to those illegal migrants who are living in certain parts of the country. So the amendments on citizenship will not apply to certain areas. Which areas? Schedule 6 areas. Schedule 6 areas, we'll discuss it in a couple of days only. Schedule 6 areas are certain areas in parts of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura. Some small parts of these areas. Okay. Now, apart from this, are you aware? One simple question firstly. If you want to go from Maharashtra to Gujarat, Do you need any document, any permission? If you want to go from UP to Bihar, what kind of document is required? Nothing. But there are some parts of the country where before you enter those areas, you need a permission from the local authorities. It's very simple, but the permission is required. Those areas are called inner line permit areas. So, states regulated by inner line permit. So what is this inner line permit? Inner line permit refers to permission given by the local administration there before you can enter that area. For example, in a state like Arunachal, for example, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur. In all these states, a simple permission is required before you enter these areas. Basically, this comes from a very old British rule called the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation of 1873. So, Britishers said that these areas are inhabited by tribal people, indigenous people. So, outsiders should not be allowed to enter and disturb their way of life to prevent any kind of settlement in these areas. Hence, inner line permit. And we have continued this. Okay. Now, these people don't need permission to come to other states. But because these are tribal areas, so with a very distinct culture and way of life, so permission is required to enter these areas. Very simple. Don't be angry. It's okay. Clear? Some type of autonomy is required in the larger fold of India. That's okay. No problem. So if you are somebody, if you are say a Hindu who has come from Pakistan and are living in UP, you'll get the benefit of CAA. But if you are unlucky and you ran from Pakistan, came running to Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, Bengal, and you went to Assam, no benefit. Who told you to run so far? No benefit of CAA. You are still an illegal migrant. No, Ananya, they're not required. Inner line permit is only for these states. Okay? Are we clear of this point? If you don't take the permission, you are violating a law. You can be penalized. Punishment can be given. Now let's come to issues. There are two types of two sides to these arguments. One is India wants CAA. CAA means Citizenship Amendment Act. Others are saying India does not want CAA. But what does India want? Tell me. The first things first. Is the law unconstitutional? Tell me. Yes, Pooja, he does. Is the law unconstitutional? Now, what are the issues? Possible violation of Article 14. Now, you don't know what is Article 14. Let me tell you. Article 14 talks about equality. The idea of equality. Everybody should be treated equally in the eyes of law. So why are you treating people differently based on their country of origin, based on their religion, based on their entry into India, based on where they are living in India? Why? Why different treatment? Treatment should be same, right? But the point is, do we have equality in the country for everything? Tell me. No, legally also. No sarcasm here. Legally also. Don't we have reservation? Yes or no? We do, right? Where is the equality? Don't we have different tax rate for rich, different tax rate for poor? We have it, right? Don't we have laws where voting age is 18? Why? A person under 18 is not an Indian citizen. He is, right. But we have laws which treat people differently. It's possible because the same Article 14 also allows what we call positive discrimination. So we can treat people differently also, but it should be positive different treatment. Are we clear? So when you make reservation, what you're doing is you are ensuring that some people get additional benefit to ensure equality of opportunity. Same thing here. The point here is, are you denying that a Hindu is suffering in Pakistan? Tell me. Don't we have ample evidence from people who have come from these countries about the horrors they have been going through? We all know it. Yes. This means that if the state, meaning the country, wants to make provisions for certain people who are suffering, is that unconstitutional? Tell me. No, right? So far, no. Now, you may say, sir, are only Hindus and Christians suffering? Are Shias not suffering? They are also suffering. Are atheists not suffering? They are also suffering. Are people not suffering in China? Are they not suffering in Myanmar? Not in Sri Lanka? Then what are we doing for that? To answer this very simple question, now tell me, we provide for the Food Security Act, 1, 2, and 3 rupees per kg of food grain to large groups of people in this country. Basic food grains. Don't you think it would be appropriate if you could provide them with, say, milk also? Some source of protein also? Yes or no? Do you think it would be better if you could provide them with additional food material? Yes. But can we? We don't have resources. Maybe in future, if India has resources, we will. As of now, our resources are only this much. It is like going on the, let's say somebody comes to you and says, please give me some money, I need some money, I need help. And you say, take 10 rupees, I only have 20 right now, I need 10 to go to my home, you take 10 rupees. Can the person claim, or other person comes and says, come on, give me also 10 rupees. You have given him 10 rupees. Wait, as of now, this is my limited resource. I cannot give 10 rupees to everybody. Sorry, please forgive me. That's the exact same logic. That right now, we feel that people in these countries are suffering a lot. In future, we can allow, or we can also provide for the same benefit to, say, Muslims and Shias in Pakistan, Muslims from China, Tamils from Sri Lanka, Rohingyas from Myanmar. We can do it. But right now, this is what we can offer. So questioning this law on the ground of violating the constitution is very difficult, frankly. You cannot question this law that it is wrong. This is unconstitutional. Legally, you cannot. Because there is nothing wrong in giving positive discrimination. But one important question. If tell me, With the passage of CAA 2019, does any Indian Muslim lose his citizenship? With the passage of CAA 2019, does any Indian Muslim lose citizenship? Why those who are saying maybe and yes, give me how. Tell me reasons how. How is an Indian citizen getting affected? Yes, maybe. I want to know how you are saying yes or maybe. How is an Indian citizen getting his citizenship impacted? Their parents' details? I am simply saying the CA 2019, where does it say that Indian citizens are losing their citizenship? Violating any law? That is overseas citizen of India, OCI card holder. He's a foreigner. What are you saying? Guys, please focus on the question. I think most of you have gotten it correct only. The passage of the CAA does not impact any Indian citizen. Forget Muslims, any Indian citizen. It is meant for foreigners, not for Indians. Clear? Now my question is, if it is not impacting any Indian citizen, why were protests in Shaheen Bagh? Tell me. Please explain. Are they crazy that they are sitting randomly? Because of not mentioning Muslims. How does it matter? Oh, so you are thinking because Muslims were not mentioned, that is why they're angry. No, no, no. Loss of jobs only for Muslims, not for others. Drama. See, some of you don't use this argument of lack of knowledge and all. See, in a large protest, 90% people have no idea what is happening, but a few do. And what was the problem? Let me explain the problem now. See, did you see the meme here now? आप chronology समझिए. Understand the chronology is what Mr. Amit Shah said in a press conference. What did he want to say? He said, we have made a CAA right now. We have passed a CAA 2019, the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Please bear with me and follow me carefully. Next stage is we are going to create NPR, National Population Register, a list of all the Indian citizens, a list of all the people living in India. After NPR, we are going to create NRC for the entire country, not just for Assam. This will complete the chronology from here to here and from here to here. 1, 2, 3. The chronology is complete. Now you'll say, so what is the problem? What is the problem? The problem is, now imagine NRC has been created for entire country, a list of all Indian citizens. Take for example 2 people. A person A, this person is a Hindu and his name is not in the NRC. A person B, this person is a Muslim and his name is not in the NRC. Are we okay so far? 2 people are there, their names are not in the NRC. This means they are both being called, you both illegal migrants. Prove it. Now, this Hindu, he may have the benefit of CAA. Yes or no? If this Hindu person can prove that he is a Hindu and he had come from, say, Pakistan, or he was living in India before 2014, you just have to prove that. Now you say, sir, how? That we can decide later on. What kind of documents will be acceptable, that can be decided later on. But this Hindu person only has to prove that I am a Hindu and I have been living in India before 2014, you will have the advantage of CAA. But this Muslim, what advantage or what law can he fall back on? Nothing. Simple. This is what they're protesting against. That in future, if we get this full circle of laws, then Indian Muslims may start suffering, because all those Indian Muslims whose names might not be there in the NRC, they may have to find out ways to leave the country only, because there is no option for them to claim Indian citizenship. Whereas Hindu, Christian, Sikh will have this option at least. This was the reason for protest. I hope now you understand that CAA on its own does not affect the Muslims, but this entire chronology of laws would have impacted the Muslims. Are you clear? I hope now you understand that the protest was genuine. Not all the people, but some people who started it. Of course, if you say some celebrity had gone to protest there, don't count celebs and all. Come on, celebs know nothing, right? They go there for promotion of their movies, etc. Ignore them. But largely, the logic was correct. Now, the government later on said, and Mr. Narendra Modi later on said, that there is no interest right now of the government to either prepare NPR or NRC, and the government will not be preparing NRC. So of course, when the moment Narendra Modi said that we will not have NRC, no plans for NRC, the protest should have subsided, because that's the problem. Now, some of you can say, but sir, yesterday Amit Shah was saying that we'll have NRC. Today Narendra Modi is saying we will not have NRC. Who can guarantee that tomorrow again the government will not say we'll have NRC? So there is this problem. Confusion. There is no coherence. Today one minister says, and your best friend is saying that we have NRC. Tomorrow you are saying no NRC. What if day after tomorrow again somebody says no, NRC is there? Then some kind of guarantee is required. That is a problem as of now, right? But yes, you can say that this law is anti-secular in nature because it limits itself to only certain categories of people. But I'll tell you what is the bigger problem here. Now, one question that you should ask me is, sir, how to prove that I am a Hindu or a Christian? What documents? Or how to prove that I am living in India since 2014? Or how to prove that I've come from Pakistan? Some kind of documentary proof is required for all these things. Yes or no? Required. Now tell me something. Whenever any law is made, don't we make rules also? Remember? Why are rules made? Rules are made to implement the laws properly. Otherwise, how will the law be implemented? Laws cannot contain details. Rules are required. Now, this law of CA was made in 2019. When was it made? Please tell me. 2019. Rules for CA. Yet to be made. It's been 4 years now. And recently, 8th extension was sought. 8th time, the government said, we want more time to make rules. 8th extension. Now comes a real catch here. This means you have no interest in actually implementing CAA. Because if you had interest, if you really, your heart was suffering due to the plight of these people, you'd have made rules immediately. But you have no interest in making rules because maybe the agenda was to get, possibly, that can be the allegation. If you are not showing the intention to work, then the agenda may be just this. Now, I'll tell you, there are people who are suffering and who have suffered in Pakistan. I'll tell you a simple story. This is a true story narrated by one person who came from Pakistan with his family to India. He works now in a city and sells vegetables, fruits, etc. So NGOs, a lot of NGOs are working for their welfare. They are trying to provide for citizenship for them. This person narrated what he had to go through because of his religion in Pakistan. So he belonged to he was from a village in Pakistan, and lower middle class person, small land holding and a farmer there. Now, what the people in the community, in the village, from the other religion, of course, would do was, some village goons, the hooligans, they would harass his wife, and they, according to him, raped his wife. Not just that, they forced the family to bear the child. And this happened for 5 years. This man had 4 kids. None of them belonged to him. All the hooligans of the village would rape his wife and force her to bear the child. He ran away from Pakistan with his wife and kids, comes to India. This is one of the thousands of atrocities being committed on various people in Pakistan. Of course, we are suffering. Of course, these people have been dealt with a short stick. But the point is, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You are just making a mockery of their suffering. You are using their suffering to ignite passion in the country and see that, and they say that, see, we are doing this great thing for you. We are giving you citizenship. What have you done? Bear means to carry the child, did not let her get aborted. This is a concern, right? That is why sometimes we feel that these politicians are so heartless that they will play politics at the cost of somebody's dignity, somebody's reputation, somebody's life. Imagine the plight of that woman and the family and such families. And then you say that, yes, we are very enthusiastic about making rules. Every couple of days, some right-wing channel would come on YouTube and say that now we have information, rules are being made. What information? It's been 4 years and still you are being, you are showing this with pride that now the government is going to make rules. For the past 4 years, there was COVID. For election, there is no COVID. For bribing voters, there is no COVID. But for this, there is COVID. So that is why it all boils down to what was the underlying agenda. Was it really to ameliorate the lives of these people? Or was it just to incite passion in the country and get votes? Anyway, so this is the larger issue. And yes, one more point. OCI card cancellation ground is vague. This is not a problem. The moment rules are made, we can notify what laws, when broken, would result in your card getting cancelled. That's it. So this may not be a very big problem. This can very easily be solved. Mind you, this matter is pending in the court. Pending in Supreme Court. Indian Union Muslim League case of 2019. Like all other cases, this case is also pending in the court. Like all other unimportant cases. Important cases are heard very quickly. Supreme Court is the best, right? So these are unimportant matters. Lives of 10,000 people. Does it really matter? Come on. Rich elite people, they are suffering. Poor people, they can die. Their life is worth nothing. Elite people, their life matters. That is all as far as our issues are concerned. And we are done with our discussion on citizenship. Right? Let's end our discussion here only today. A lot of things to ponder over and think through. So this preparation of UPSC is also going to teach you where you stand, where you and me stand in the society, in front of these big organs, these big organizations, these large institutions. It's very important for you to clear the examination, enter the system, and ensure that the rules and laws are applied fairly and for the benefit of the weaker sections. It is not just for your family, it's a duty that you have to clear this exam now. Otherwise, if left on their own, these people will hijack and hoard every possible resource, wealth, and power for their own benefit. Okay, so that is all as far as today's class is concerned. And that's it for me, guys. Jai Hind. If you have any doubts, feel free. Others can leave. You may have a webinar today. And yes, the same old task. We have the PPT to study. We have the editorials. We have the monthly magazine. We have political theory revision must be going on, I'm sure. We have Yojana Kurukshetra. Okay. That's it. Second point. This point, OCI card. The Act adds a new ground that OCI card can be cancelled if you break any law. What law? The point is the OCI card cancellation ground. Ground means reason. Is vague. Vague means something which is unclear. Vague. Are we clear? Aarti, single citizenship. In India, we have only one citizenship. We are citizens of India only. And we are all residents of India. That's it. Clear? Roshan, I think I had addressed this concern in the beginning only. The difference is that the RPA 1950 deals with voters and delimitation. 1951 deals with the actual conduct of elections. Pradeep, yes, Rishi Sunak is an OCI card holder. Pooja, repeated revisions. A. Hussain, Italy. Mayank Vidwani, largely yes. Most countries do. Gayatri, now Akshay Kumar can vote because I believe based on news reports, see, I don't have his personal information. Based on news reports, yes, he has become Indian citizen now. Devyani, yes. If you cannot prove that you have legal documents like visa and passport, then how will we ever be sure of which country you've come from? Yeshi, I mean, it was meant for larger audience if anybody is interested. Leaderboard, today's leaderboard is spoiled, G Shiva. What's the point? I took so many polls. Ainum, okay, Nancy. Synonyms, K. Mahesh. Ainum, you can send this information to me. Let's see. What's the difference?